Man, what's up, everybody, man? You already know who I am, man. It's my first episode, You Don't Say Podcast, episode 1, called The Good and the Bad. And I'm with a special guest today. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Jessica. Thank you for allowing me to have me, Chris.
You already know, man. This is my first one. I'm excited, man. I'm with a nice special guest. And today's topic, what we're going to be talking about is like basically the good and the bad in the military, like relationships, like the stuff that you don't really like see really like that you see like on social media when it comes to like the military. So like my first thing is like how do you feel when it comes to relationships in the military? Because I feel like me personally, I feel like some people when it comes to these relationships, they do it because some of them just desperate. Like they're not home, like they not with their loved ones. Even like in boot camp, like I remember my petty officer told me like, man, it's a lot of people here who don't like look that good. But then when you be with them for a certain amount of time, you just think they like the sexiest thing ever. And it's like, man, when it comes to relationships in the military, some people just real desperate because like they just date anybody, or they do it for the benefits, and whole time it like really never work out, and then that just leave like a bad taste in their mouth. So like, what you think about it?
No, I completely agree with you on that. I've definitely seen some really good relationships come from the military, and I've seen some really bad relationships, straight from boot camp, just like you were saying. People with like families and stuff, just because they're away from them for a certain amount of time, they need that someone to like hold on to. But in the end, they realize it's not worth it, especially like in A school. I remember people would get married after meeting each other for like 2 months, and then I hear 3 months later they're already divorced, and it's like they only did it for the benefits. And that's mostly younger cats and stuff like that in the military, not really understanding relationships and how like major they can be in their lives. But I've seen some good relationships come from it, but it's mostly definitely for the benefits, for BAH and stuff like that.
And I definitely agree with that because like when it comes to like these relationships, there's a lot of dudes who's like, especially like where I'm at in the Navy, at my command, it's a lot of them who just want to say they're in a relationship. Like it's like, man, bro, I'm in a relationship. I have a wife, and they love like bragging about it. And it's like, man, like, do you really have a wife? Like, are you really in love with this person? Because I mean, you can't. Love is love, so you just can't really be like, okay, cool, he just faking it. But some dudes here, they're really faking it because you gotta understand when we do, it's mentally draining and it's mentally ill. And a lot of people be like, man, bro, I can't do what they do, man, because like I've been hurt myself or hurting somebody, and that's just the military. So I feel like you having a partner with you, it helps you like balance that out. It helps you like, okay, cool, I can go home to my wife or my partner because it's like, man, bro, I'm going to the barracks with some dudes who I don't like and I have to work with every day. And for a fact, some people that you work with, even in the civilian world, you just don't like them, but you got to work with them.
Yep.
And that's like, and it's real. That's kind of crazy to me, but that's just life though.
Yeah, that's anywhere, honestly. And another thing is, unfortunately, being in the military, it's already hard enough. You're moving around everywhere. You're not really stable in one place. And when you get in a relationship in the military, either with someone who's in the military or a civilian, they got to realize all the stuff you go through in the military, like how much you move around, how many people you meet. And like, unfortunately, I heard about a lot of people like cheating on like, their wives or their boyfriends and girlfriends just because how easily accessible people are around them. And it sucks, but I mean, again, you might find that one person that's like a perfect fit, but they have to realize like the totality of your life and their life being meshed in with yours is sometimes doesn't match. So they have to really understand like the military life isn't for everybody and relationship isn't for everybody, because they have to agree that, hey, I'm going to be moving over here in like 2 years. Are you okay with that? And if you're not married to them, they might not move with you, and it just might not work out, but maybe it will, But it's not that easy for sure.
And that's like really facts because like piggyback off what you were saying, like a lot of people who are married to these like women, or a lot of women who are married to the men in the military, they spouse not even in the military. Like some of them civilians, and it's like she don't know what you're doing, bro, like behind her back, like when you hear, or like he don't know what she doing. Like it's just how it is. That's why even when you date a person in the military, it's weird because y'all can be getting the same checks, and it's like, okay, we both E4s, E5s and all that. We getting the same checks and all that. And it's like, man, it's gonna be like weird arguments and stuff like that. And that's just how it is.
So a lot of things in the military, a lot of things are said more than what's actually provided. All right. So a lot of things are unfortunately lied to you as a fucking civilian. They're gonna tell you you're gonna get a fucking $15,000 bonus, or you're gonna get these benefits, or you're gonna whatever, right? But you gotta really fucking research your shit. I'm not gonna lie. You gotta research your stuff in the military, because a lot of it shit lies to you. All right? You gotta make sure you know what you're getting into. Okay? Because it's a contract that you cannot get out of. Okay? For 4+ years, And depending on what careers you select, if you're gonna like it or you're not gonna like it. But you gotta make sure you prepare yourself for that position. But again, you have to research your fucking shit. Because if not, you're going to fuck yourself over in the fucking end all, be all. You know what I'm saying? So, research your shit. Make sure you're educated in what you're getting yourself into. Because if you're not, you're going to fucking throw yourself into a fucking pit fire. And you don't understand what the fuck is going on. But make sure you look up what the fuck you're getting into. And make sure you study what the fuck you get into. Study, study, study.
And honestly, and that's the facts about that, because in the military you sign contracts because some people just be desperate to come to the military, that's just the best thing ever in life. And it's really not, because I understand what you're going through in the civilization. You man, I don't like this 9-to-6 job, or I need to do something in my life that could be productive, and I need to have some type of success in my life. Military cool and all that, but once you get in the military, it feels like it's jail. And that's transition from the relationship topic we was talking about to the problems in the military, the good and the bad. Because when you get to the military, it seemed good. You got your name on the uniform and all that. You're man, I got my last name on the uniform. I'm part of a big society. But the whole time, is you really a part of this big society, or is you really just, working for the big man, or you dealing with people that you don't want to be around, or you dealing with stuff that you don't really want to do, and it's tiring because you get up every day in the morning, you do the same stuff, you go back home, you repeat it over and over again, you're doing that shit for years. And the crazy part about that is it's weird, because when you dealing with stuff like that, you get real mentally drained, and Jessica could tell you it's a real mentally drained job, for real.
It really is. Again, it depends on the fucking job you choose, but it also depends on your ASVAB scores. If your ASVAB scores are low, you're going to get little to no jobs that you want, honestly. But if you score high on the ASVAB, you're going to get a lot more job opportunities that you might want to succeed in, all right? But honestly, it's what you are willing to put forth in your effort in. And again, it's a contract. So you got to stick to that contract. A contract usually is 2 to 4 years of your life, and you can't do nothing about it until finishing that contract, all right? And there's a lot of fucking rules and regulations tied into that contract, all right? But honestly, you gotta really think about your future and what you want to do for the American United States. Whatever the fuck you want to do for your family, for your friends, whatever the fuck you want to do this reason for. But it's a contract, so you gotta stick to it, and you can't get out of it until you fucking get out of it, all right?
And it's crazy because these contracts he's talking about, you just can't leave when you want to leave. They're just considered AWOL at this point. Mm-hmm. And when you leave, it's really almost like a felon. You just being searched, you can't use your credit cards, you can't do nothing because they'll find you. So sometimes you just got to thug it out when it comes to the military. And when you get out, if you leave on an honorable discharge, then you can get really any job you want to, really, and it's just a good thing. But you have to leave out with an honorable discharge, because in the military, it's some people who do stupid stuff to get a dishonorable discharge and all that. Or if you mess up, you can get a medical discharge. So it's it's how you play it out. It's how you do your thing when it comes to the military. You can play the system if you want to, because they already playing you. So you can play the system if you want to, or if you don't want to be some people hit the medical discharge right. They be man, I'm hurt and all that. But if you want to grind it out, do your little 3-4 years, it could be rewarding.
Right, and I completely agree with you on that, Curtis. You can definitely get the benefits if you fucking work hard for it. But if you really don't give a shit about what you're doing, you're just doing it for the benefits, you're not really gonna understand the totality of your benefits and stuff like that. So really, you gotta understand what you're putting in is what you're going to be getting out, honestly. If you're putting in fucking nothing and you're fucking barely putting in effort for your job and you're getting a minimum fucking evaluation and you're whatever the fuck, it's not going to get you anywhere. But like if you actually care about your job and want to strive to be better, you're going to put in all the effort you need to be the best person you can be in that fucking position, right? And it'll give you better fucking positions, better evaluations, better everything for your position. But again, if you don't understand what the fuck you're getting into, you're kind of screwed at this point. So make sure you research your shit.
And just don't sign anything when it comes to this, because at the end of the day, if you sign anything, you really sign it like your life away to something that you really don't want to be a part of. Yeah, it's a consistent check. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, you get benefits, health benefits and all that. The money's not all that good. You have to rank up to get a good check, to get a good pay. If you like an E3 and below, you ain't really getting paid that good. Once you hit like an E5 status, that's when it's good checks and all that stuff. And you have to reach your E5 status because there's some rates out there that when you have these jobs, and like one thing about the military, they set their standards too low. You can come up in the military with a 10, and that ain't nothing. That's just putting your name, your first and your last name on the paper, and like, you know, that's just what it is. So what you got to say, Just?
I mean, honestly, I understand. It's hard in this world to fucking survive with the money you got, you know? It's expensive in this world to fucking pay for bills and electricity and fucking whatever the fuck you need. I understand that shit, right? But you gotta make sure you're with the right person to help build you up in that moment, in that situation, in that whatever the fuck you need. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but it's just... I understand. The world today is a fucking very dark, deep place. And it's hard to find yourself in this position of like feeling belonging. But once you find that person to help you feel that way, or yourself, which is more important, you gotta love yourself. You gotta fucking understand yourself. You know what I'm saying? And be like, I'm okay with where I'm at. And I'm okay with what I'm making to fucking survive. But I want to make sure you guys understand, like, I want to make more than what I'm just surviving. I want to live. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real, yeah. And that's just what it is. Like, when you get out the military, like, you gotta understand, like, how much freedom you have as a civilian. Like, it's to the point that you miss being a civilized, like, person. Like, you miss being civilian because, like, this is, like, military, it seems like you like a robot. Like, you know, you wake up when they want you to wake up, you shit when they want you to shit, you eat when they want you to eat. It just how life is with them. They control everything, and it's not like if you a person who want to be a boss in the future, if you a person who want to like run a company and all that, bro. Military, it'll teach you how to highlight that the attitude and all that stuff, but it also can be like draining too, like when you trying to find your purpose in life too as well. Like, so, you know, it can teach you some things, and sometimes it can like deteriorate you from certain stuff like that you want to do in life. It can like hold you back too.
Right. And who knows what's gonna fucking set you back in life or set you forward in life. Alright, you might have a fucking inspiration and be like, I wanna do this, or I don't wanna do this. But you gotta follow your heart, honestly. You gotta follow your guts, like, you gotta follow your guts, honestly. And if you don't follow your gut, like, it's gonna be a harder path for you. If you know what's right for you, you fucking go for it. You fucking go for it 100%, alright? No matter what. No matter how hard it gets. No matter how fucking difficult it gets. No matter how much struggles you get, you know what I'm saying? But as long as you have the right support system, and the right friends, and the family, whatever you got, as long as you believe in yourself, like, you can go anywhere.
And that's facts, man. I feel that. So, like, this is like, really this podcast is about, you know, lessons. We gonna talk about like hot topics and stuff, what's going on today and all that. It's not like no politician type podcast. We don't do that, but whatever goes on in life, we gonna talk about it. So, thank y'all for tuning in and all that. Thanks to my girl Jess, and make sure I hit the like and subscribe button. This is episode 1. Episode 2 be coming out soon, so just stay tuned for that. Peace.